Welcome to Beneath the Surface, the space where real stories live and healing begins. I am your host, Donovan Sykes, and here we dive deep into the layers of life, the trauma, the pain, the resilience, and the power that it takes to overcome. Whether you are healing, growing, or simply trying to make sense of it all, you're not alone. So let's go beneath the surface. And on today's episode entitled Transparency, what my life really looks like right now. Transparency and what my life really looks like, despite what you may see, what it really looks like. And we're going to dive deep. I made this video previously, but it wasn't to my standards. And I feel like I was all over the place and I didn't want to um, do a disservice to my character. And I didn't want to assassinate anyone else's character. So I didn't allow that video to be posted for that reason. However, we're going to dive right into it, and I'm going to go solely into my last encounter when it pertains to dating. The beginning started off two people being acquainted. November 16th was the day we met. They came over for Thanksgiving. I had nothing going on Thanksgiving. They brought me some food. We just texted back and forth, and it gradually grew. Unbeknown to me, 2 years prior, when I initiated my pill sobriety, this person had reached out to me via Twitter or X, whatever y'all still call it, and just giving me some words of inspiration and just, checking on me in the midst of my storm that I was going through. But I had never seen that message until we got acquainted then. So November 16th was the first day that we met. He came over, so on and so forth. Soft love. Everything about it was soft. Communication and understanding. And it was just soft. And he also was another Libra. So it made me feel like, you know me, and I know you. So we're good. That preconceived notion of what you think you know based off of who you are. Not factual. Put that out there. So it just moved. And before you knew it, we were together without even saying we were together. And it was a shock for many of people in my life. It was a shock for many of people who just watches me, because it was very different in many aspects. It was very different. And one of those were, I was the submissive one within the dynamic of that relationship. I was the submissive one. Who would have thought that I was the submissive one within the dynamic of that relationship? But me being a Libra, I don't care about roles, but whichever role you assume, make sure you're good at that role. That's all. I could play and do any role because I am well versed within life itself. So I can do a multitude of things. So, okay, this is the role you're going to play. Make sure you do it when you do it well. So fast forward. We had no issues. Communication, respect, understanding, trust. We had no issues. The only issue that we did have was presentation, how one presented themselves. And though y'all could say I present myself like this on this side of the world, and then I present myself like this on this side of the world, you see who I am and you know me to be who I am. You see it. So despite you see this over here and you see this over here, depending on your character and where your mental state is, you will see me for who I am. And I'm not worried about the ones who don't. So it was just a thing of I wanted certain things to change. And it was simply how one was presented, like how you carried yourself. Now you are associated with me. Say what you want, but you are associated with me. So there's a standard. But again, me thinking Libra to Libra, we already understand that standard because I'm thinking all Libras think the same. That's not true. Get out of that mindset of you can date yourself because everybody or no one is like you. Okay, so it was things that I started to implement within the dynamic of the relationship. You got to do this, 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 you need to do this. Remind you, I'm in the back seat now because I ain't the leader within this relationship. This the top. And y'all can say titles don't matter. They matter. Titles determines the position in which you play. If you're a manager, you oversee things. If you're on the fries, that's where you're supposed to be. If you're a team lead, that's your title because you oversee certain things. So if you're going to be X, Y, and Z, I need you to oversee certain things. I can't be in the backseat hollering at you, telling you which way to turn when you're the driver. That's all I was saying. So it was certain things. And again, I'm not going to be descriptive because I don't want this to come off as an assassination or demeaning someone's character because that's not what it's about. This is just me merely telling my story. I took on the initiative of being submissive, but also feeling like I had to be the leader and the dominant one. With you shouldn't dress like this. If you're gonna come outside, it should be X, Y, and Z. You should be eating X, Y, and Z. We finna get in the gym. We finna do this. Is why I started taking the necessary precautions that everything I wanted one to work on, I was in contribution to it. I want you in the gym. Okay, we're gonna go to the gym together. Let's figure this schedule out. I want you to eat better. I'm gonna make your groceries. I'm gonna start our meal prep. I'm the submissive one now, but I'm doing X, Y, and Z, the standard, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I don't need you to have this, and this. I could work with anything as long as you are able to work with yourself. So I'm gonna just fast forward. We had a lot of issues with physical appearance because what they deemed as comfort of how they presented themselves, I deemed as unacceptable. It was certain things that we just were not gonna do. And I had a standard because by you being a bigger dude, eyes are going to be on you just because. And it's not about appeasing to anyone. It's about appeasing to yourself. So if you're cool with that, I'm cool that you're cool with that, but I'm not cool with that. So that's where we're going to differ. I'm not saying you got to change who you are. I'm just saying I'm not cool with that. So by me not being cool with that, I ain't going to complain about nothing. I'm going to help you change everything that I am complaining about if you care to change it for the better. Because I ain't asking you to change nothing that is not for the better. So if you're not there and ready to change that, cool. Fast forward, 5th month anniversary. I think I can insert this picture. I'm learning this technology stuff when it comes to editing. So this picture right here, when I had on this blue shirt and I had these bags and I went to his school to celebrate our 5th month anniversary, and I had got him a bracelet engraved, I got him a necklace engraved, and I got him 2 pair of shoes, and I got him some flowers. Unbeknownst to him, I was headed up to his job. I was headed up to his job. Now, going back to comfort and how you presented yourself and how I was just so adamant on, okay, this we got to do this. You acquainted with me. Look at it. Look at it. You are acquainted with me. This is the product. So don't be oblivious to the fact that if you insert yourself in someone's life who already presents themselves like this, don't think you could come over here half stepping. Why would you think that? Okay, so I go up to the school. I'm walking. I got these bags in my hand. I got these flowers, and I'm dressed up, as you can see. And he was outside with some coworkers, and they were sitting on this bench. And he introduced me to the coworkers. They were two females, and I hugged them and whatever. And I told him, "Get up, let's go." We went inside the building, and I instantly noticed he had on flip flops or slides. And it instantly turned me off. It instantly turned me off. First off, you the leader. First off, it's an expectation for anyone that I'm associated with. I don't want to feel like I'm no trick coming up here and I got shoes and roses and necklaces and bracelets and you at work in some slides with some black socks on and your title and your job description is up here. How that made me feel? Oh no, we not doing that. Not with me, you won't. And it wasn't even in a degrading way. It was like, what we doing? So we went into his office and he still had on his slides and he introduced me to one of his higher ups. And I mentioned to her, I was like, why y'all let him have these slides on? And I told him, I said, babe, the shoe that I just bought actually match your shirt. You could put those on. His excuse was his feet were hurting, is why he had those on, based off of the shoes that he wore to work. And I didn't feel like that was an excuse because if you know that these shoes would make your feet hurt, why wear these shoes? So now I feel like it's an excuse. But again, it was just something that turned me off. I didn't go overboard. It turned me off. Okay, cool. We leaving out because I'm in the office, so I see all of the coworkers. We leaving out. One of the coworkers stops me because I had done came up to there. Let me be mindful because I don't want to give too much. I came up to his place of employment, and I had been there frequently, and I had always brought things. I even brought things for the coworkers. I brought the women flowers and notes, and I did the thing as the submissive one. And we were walking out, and one of the coworkers was like, "Let me tell you what he did." So she was telling me that he was basically bragging about the dynamic of our relationship and saying, my man spoke about me on the podcast and X, Y, and Z. And I told why we were all right there. It was maybe like 6 or 7 people within the office. And I told him, I said, he ain't gonna do it again. And let me know if he do it again because I'm gonna stop doing this for him if he do it again. Just joking, but serious. So he walks me to my car. I told him, I mentioned what she said. I said, baby, don't do that. I said, I don't want a woman to feel like she's in competition with a gay man and how another man shows up for you. You shouldn't have to tell another woman that this is what my man does for me. And I said, because God will take the ability away from me in which I'm able to do for you. And then this wouldn't be something that you're able to brag about. So don't do that. That was it. Then I text and I said, and don't let me catch you in those slides or slippers again. Why did I say that? That's what started it. That's why we broke up. Merely that. That's why we broke up. But It was his response and me just having a corrective action about the leader within the dynamic of my relationship. That's all I was doing. So we had our little whatever. I had just made groceries for him. But after that, I didn't really want to see him, but I needed him to come pick up his stuff. So I told him to come over. I didn't really care to talk about anything because he came out very dismissive to me after everything that I've done. It was just very dismissive. It wasn't nothing that made me feel like, okay, he hear me, whatever, whatever. And you're supposed to be the leader. So that was what happened. Um, we talked on the phone, and I think my tone and my aggression and my sternness, not aggression, my sternness of you're supposed to be a leader. You doing this. You are a product of your environment. I don't think that he has ever been talked to in that manner. But it wasn't me talking down to him. It was me saying, come on, what we doing? We supposed to be up here. Level up. That's it. So, um, yeah, let me not get too deep. Let me go to these cards. Um, what would I do differently? What I would do differently now is not ignore the signs. I can no longer try to make someone be who I want them to be. I'm going to look at who you are and determine if you are who I want you to be. Surface level. You need to have X, Y, and Z. I'm not willing to no longer compromise that just for the sake of because you made me feel good love-wise. I can't compromise that no more. So yes, I could fall in love and feel like, oh, this is my person. But what signs are you truly ignoring? Because there was a many of signs that I know now that I ignored based off of my standard. Certain things are now non-negotiable. Let me see how you manage your life and what you're doing and what. I ain't saying life don't happen to us as humans and we can't fall. We could be up here one day and we fall. I ain't saying that. But when you fall, remember, you got to start from where you are. Unless you can prove that, yes, this is where I am, but that ain't where I'm deserving to be. You got to prove that. So a person coming in and saying, okay, you say this ain't where you're deserving to be, so show me. And when you don't show me that, that's where you are because that's where you are. That's what I would do differently. I'm not ignoring any red flags from anyone. If you ain't got this, and this, even if it's one of those things that you ain't got, I ain't ignoring that because I know it's something that I need from you. And if you ain't able to provide that or give me that, it's going to create a level of resentment for you simply because it was something that I suppressed for the sake of me and you. I would never, ever do that again. Moving right along, what I refuse to regret. I refuse to regret. I would never regret giving my love because this is who I am. It is the makeup of me. So though I go from relationship to relationship, I would never regret giving my love because everyone experiences the same love because it's simply who I am. Now that we got that out the way, out with the old, in with the new. Lord Anime, I told you not to borrow the white dress. Uh-huh. My new relationship. Why so fast after a recent separation? First question. How this relationship came about. I've learned to move a little bit more quietly within this relationship. So I'm not going to give too much. This was someone I knew prior to this or prior to that last encounter. Someone I already knew. We had encounters before. And right after that situation, this person hit me up um, just on some dating and courting. And I told y'all, like, I was like mentally exhausted from trying the whole love thing after everything that I had given. I didn't want to do no love thing no more. And um, I kind of told him that. And he gave me his spiel and all of that. And I was just like, a dude would have to show me. Like he'll have to show me. And I'm not putting no effort into it. All the effort that I put into how I love is already out there because I show it. So if you want to see how I love, you're going to have to go look. But I'm not showing you. You're going to have to come in here and you're going to have to show me. And when I say, man, when I say I've been shown on a consistent basis of the thought or the fact that I thought that I had given up on the idea of just me loving the way that I love and me carrying the way that I carry, me giving the way that I give. I truly felt like I'm tired. This is draining. And it's forever lasting. This cycle of how love feels and then how it ends. And I was just done with it. And he came and he kind of revived me, if you may, in every aspect. But in things that I was constantly giving other people that I needed for myself, he came in and gave me the things that I needed for myself because I was depleted of those things. The reason I was depleted of those things because I was giving it to so many different people. How I'm over here and I'm trying to grow. I just got to where I need to be. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to get businesses off the ground. I'm trying to create this life for myself. And here it is. I associate myself with someone that needs me to pull them up. Me pulling you up is slowing me down. I need you to be right beside me. I ain't saying you got to have more, but you need to be beside me and we could pull each other up. That's what that man came in here and done. When I say the small things, like having a life insurance policy, like having insurance on my car, yeah, those type of things. The dynamic in how I treat my dog and taking her to the park and quality time and those type of things. How did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do that? Those type of things. Things that I know I should be doing. Granted. Things that I have done on my own before. But sometimes life railroads us to the point that we need that push. And if you're not coming, they're saying equally yoked. That's what that means. Equally yoked. Meaning what you don't have, I have. And what I don't have, you have. It's why we are like this, because we are equally yoked. I had to learn to stop giving myself over to so many people just because of how I love. Stop giving yourself over just because of how you love. Because of how you love, one should be deserving of it. They should work for it. And I don't want you to feel guilty of someone working for what your love deserves and what it requires. And I say that because when he came along and he started doing so much, it made me uncomfortable. And I was telling him to slow down. I was like, don't do this, don't Bobby this, don't, because it made me uncomfortable because I had never received it. So it was foreign to me, is why it made me feel uncomfortable. Knowing well that I was deserving of that type of love and that type of attention, that type of reassurance, all of that, that I got you, I was deserving of that. But I had never received it, so it was foreign to me. Um, let's see. The major difference between my last encounter, it says relationship, but it was an encounter. If we don't make it to a year, you encountered me. And that was a blessing in disguise that you encountered me. Anyway, the difference between my last encounter and this new one. Oh, let me tell you the difference. I'm the dominant one within this relationship. I'm the dominant one. But it's easy to be submissive because he showed me that he's a man. You can be submissive to someone who can lead you properly. How are you going to be the dominant one and you ain't even leading me and you want me to be submissive to you? I can't be submissive to you. My mind, my body, and my soul is going to reject it because you ain't in a position for me to be submissive to you. I can be submissive to that man in there because that man has shown up for me. I ain't got to be hard all day with you because you let me know when I fall, you got me. That's the difference between that one and this one. Because we both can play both roles equally and not in a sexual aspect. Don't lose the plight of what I'm saying. Not in a sexual aspect, in a mental one. How you show up, how you provide, how you care, how you nurture, how you love, how you give back, how you pay it forward, how reassuring you are. We both can do that for one another. That's why we both can be dominant and submissive. And I'm able to be submissive because the dominance within his mindset. I'm not going to elaborate on that any further. All right. We're going to get a little deeper. We're going to switch to that. Now, y'all know why I'm no longer in my relation. Now, y'all know why I'm no longer in my past encounter and I've moved on abruptly. To sum that up, time waits for no man. And I don't have to wait to fulfill myself because of your incapabilities. Who you think you are? They say, oh, you can't keep a man or you can't keep a woman. I can keep is why you always see me in another relationship. They just couldn't keep me. That's the difference. I ain't hell bent on and I ain't desperate. I just love love. So I'm going to always give myself what myself desires because that's what I love, but I ain't desperate for it. Let's be very clear about that. I ain't desperate for it. I have a standard. And when that standard is not adhered to, then the relationship is obsolete. But you judging me because I'm in another relationship. And I'm judging you because you still over there settling. You're foolish. On to the next. Why me and my sister are not on speaking terms. And this is the sister that y'all always see me with. The reality of family disagreements. I'm just at a point in my life where I'm no longer beating growth into your head. If you want to grow, you want to grow. But I'm no longer allowing my contributions to your growth, in which you feel are personal attacks, to affect me. You know, anything and everything I say comes from love. That's as you see, relationship to relationship. Anything I do and say comes from love. And if you don't know me in that sense, then anything that I say, it's going to seem like a personal attack or judgment or I'm your dad or whatever. I could detach myself from any human being on this earth abruptly because I know what I need, what I desire, and what I also require. You're going to now give me what I require from you. That is a non negotiable, regardless of who you are to me or how we are acquainted. You're going to give me what I desire. And if that's not happening, abruptly, we're done. And I have no feelings or no emotions towards it. Because one thing about a Libra, we have a light switch. It's either on or off. Art. On or off. There's no in between. When we're on, we ride for you. We're going to build you up. We're going to pour into you. We're going to show up. We're going to do everything in our power to elevate you. Even if we ain't elevating ourselves, we're going to make sure you're good. And when that is not reciprocated or when it's not understood, the switch is flipped. So that's why we're currently not talking. And this is not to put our personal business out, but this is my life. So I'm going to speak my encounters. This is beneath the surface. I got some things I want my sister to work on. And until those things are handled, this is the dynamic. I love that word dynamic. It speaks to, right? This is the dynamic of our relationship. Fix those things. Because if one is associated with me, I should be able to look at you and see myself based off of our ideology. I should be able to see myself within you. But if you're making this mistake, this mistake, this mistake, this mistake, and you have this close of proximity to me, that means who I am to you is not effective. So I'm not wasting my time. That's all. I'm not wasting my time with no one. Life is short. Let's see. This pertains to my sister. What I hope for moving forward. I hope that she knows and understands that this is necessary. Me stepping back is necessary. Though you may not understand it now, it is necessary. So I hope she understands that. Um, Sometimes the things that we take for granted because we feel like that they're supposed to be, when we take those things for granted, they have to be removed for us to understand the value of what they are or what they were. So this is necessary. This is necessary. And I don't apologize about it. I'm stern on what I feel. I can't be wooed by small gestures and love and happen. Because when you had me in that space, this is what I got. So now you ain't got me in that space, and this is what you get. That's all. My personal growth. Who was I a year ago versus who I am now? I'm more aware. But I'm aware, or I become more aware on a day to day. It's why my life seems like it seems. I'm more aware on a day to day. Y'all want to hear some? Let me, because I feel like I'm preaching and not giving y'all transparency. So I'm gonna put these cards down. What I'm struggling with now. Financially, I'm struggling. Reason being because I make 99.99% of my money from adult content. And adult content stems from survival. And though I am no longer mentally in survival mode, it starts to affect survival mode. And what that means is I no longer desire that life. Even though that life provides for me, I no longer desire it. So I've been solely focused on the life that I desire, but forgetting that that's the life that makes all this possible. Is why I'm in a financial situation, a financial struggle. Most people think I have it like this and I got this and I got this. I live a normal life. I'm a Libra, so details is just something that we do. We can make anything look good for a little bit of nothing. I'm MC Hammer broke, bitch. MC Hammer broke. But that's my struggle. And I battle with it every day because it's like, if you just gave up this podcast stuff, if you gave up just pouring your life into people and just trying to have a voice, and if you just gave up trying to be somebody, you could live good. What the world determines as living good, because you got all of the finer things, but I want my soul to live good. And so I've been slacking. I spend more than I'm bringing in, and I'm not focused on the thing that provides. So I just been in this struggle because I'm trying to figure out, like, God, I don't want to stop all of this, and I don't want to just say, you know what? I can go live in a penthouse and I could drive to 2026. I could have my teeth done already. I could have a house. I could do all that if I solely focused on survival, that thing that provides all of that. But I'm focused on what feeds my soul. So it's a sacrifice. And sometimes you got to sacrifice that. Sometimes you ain't going to have what you feel like you should have because of your sacrifice. But the sacrifice ultimately is the greatest reward in the end. I'm just a regular guy, people. I'm a regular guy. I struggle. I'm hungry. We finna wrap this up. I don't stress about anything. Only thing I stress about is um life. What I want, where I'm trying to be, and taking care of my family. That's my day-to-day struggle. Is why all of this is even a factor to me. Because I'm trying to provide, but I'm no longer in survival mode. So I'm trying to shift some things around. When I walk in rooms, I want my aura to speak for me. I want my name to speak for me. I don't want you to know me because, oh, that's the dude from X, that's the dude from Twitter, that's the dude from OnlyFans. Though that is a part of who I am, I don't care to be known as that. So, yeah. I think that's it. I don't think I got anything else transparent to share. I struggle just like y'all. Everybody think I have this absurd amount of money, family, friends, and all of that. And the reason why most think that is because I never say no. So of course you're gonna think that I have this, this, and this when I never say no. That's no longer a factor because the ability of me not being able to say no is why I'm even in the situation that I'm in now. You got to learn to say no for the sacrifice of yourself. You got to learn to say no. What else? We can get deeper as time progresses with transparency. I'm not going to give y'all everything at once, but yeah, that sums it up. It's structure over here. It's discipline over here. It's boundaries over here. It's expectations over here. Know your place and earn your spot. And if you're not equipped to be associated with certain people, don't go bothering them people. You should be able to look at a person and say to yourself, can I go over there and manage? Or me going over there, they're going to start pulling from who I am because now I feel a way based off of their expectations. Stay where you are till you get to where you need to be. I know that there are many of people in this world that I am not on the level of dating. I'm not oblivious to that fact based off of where they are. Now, if I had the opportunity to mentally have a conversation with this person, they'll see me totally different. However, that's not the reality for most people. Are you where I am or are you not? That's it. Stop entwining yourself with people who are not on your level. Stop it. They are not your equal. Stop it. No, you can't help. Yes, you may want to. Yes, you may have that type of heart. Stop it. They don't have this. They don't have that. Stop it. That's not your person. If you're trying to elevate and you working on credit and you doing this, you can't have nobody who ain't got no car and who got a roommate. I ain't saying that life didn't happen to him. I'm saying that's not where you are. That ain't the type of person you could pull up out the mud right now. Because look what you're trying to do. I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm hungry. He's in the other room waiting on me. We finna eat some tamales with some jalapeno beans and rice. I love y'all. And I do this for y'all. My life is an experience for y'all. It's why I'm unapologetic about everything that I share. It's why I can share everything that I share. It's why I am willing to go from relationship to relationship. Because everything I learn, I'm going to come and tell you what to do differently, what not to do. Though you may not agree or not, if it don't apply, let it fly. It ain't for you. But I'm a prophet. I'm chosen. So I need you to take that how you see fit. I said I'm a prophet. And I said I'm chosen. And I said I want you to take that how you see fit. I ain't even understand it for a long period of time of why my life was designed this way and why I'm so forthcoming of everything and why everything with me is beneath the surface. Because I'm chosen. All right, I'm done, y'all. I love y'all. I see y'all on the 6th episode. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. We're gonna try to change this up. I'm trying to do something different, but yeah. Let me end y'all with something. What want to end y'all with. I'm going to just end you with this. If a person knows your dirt, they'll sling mud all in your face. Process that. If they know your dirt, they'll sling mud all in your face. It ain't nothing you could tell me that I don't know about myself that I haven't told you. Until next time on Beneath the Surface.